Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. Now, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Huey Lewis. He's a fellow reviewer on YouTube, and that fellow with the coat.com. I think that's the name of the website. Anyway, he does Huey's animated movies. You're probably wondering why I'm bringing him up. Well, I reviewed one of his fanfics in the past, his Beauty and the Beast fanfic, which was named Beauty and the Beast. It was a good fanfic. It wasn't one that I read out loud because it was too long. Well, today I will be reading another one of his fanfics. It's one that he requested for me to review, and the nice thing is it's a one-shot so I can actually read it out loud. This fanfic is called The Stranger. It's a Gargoyles and Ghost Rider crossover. You all know who the author is. Wow, he's written 25 stories, by the way. Okay, it's rated T, it's in English, it's supernatural suspense, and it has 5 reviews. Let's get going. Disclaimer, I do not own any of the characters used in this one-shot. Gargoyles belongs to Disney and Ghost Riders belongs to Marvel. A/N, author's note. Co-written by Gargoyles Lady Huey, I thought I asked you in the past that the next time I review a fanfic I wouldn't mind reading one that you actually wrote on your own. I mean, there's nothing wrong with co-writing a fanfic, but, you know, I don't know. Forget it. Let's just read the fanfic and then I'll speak to you about that after I'm done. One dark night in New York City, Goliath, Brooklyn, Lexington, and Broadway were out patrolling the city. Yeah, I forgot that the Gargoyles had, well, 3 of them have city names. It seemed quiet. Too quiet. Criminals were probably finding ways to commit their crimes quietly so as not to attract attention, particularly winged attention. That's when they heard an alarm go off. Goliath dived down to investigate with the trio following. Goliath landed on the rooftop where the supposed crime was taking place, but he didn't see anybody. In the shadows, Demona watched in cruel satisfaction and aimed her laser rifle. And fired. Roar! I know, it's supposed to be a roar in pain. Goliath roared in pain. That's when Demona ran out and stood over him, pointing the gun at his chest. So, Goliath, we meet again, Demona said as she smirked evilly. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, so please forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Demona, Goliath roared in anger, clutching his wound. You were the one who set off that alarm. I should have known that you were still up to your old tricks. Demona put a hand on her hip, smiling devilishly. Yes, quite clever, I have to admit, she laughed, and it was one that ran chills down Brooklyn's spine. You see, I did it to attract attention, and it went quite well. Well, don't you agree? Maybe you should have a comma separating will and won't, but I don't know. Or maybe have it say it ends quite well, have it be a period, and then have don't you agree be a question. And why is Brooklyn just standing there? Oh, it looks like the leader's in trouble. I'm just gonna stand there and watch. Okay, let's continue. Goliath snarled. You're sick. Demona just pointed her gun at Goliath's face. You've been a thorn in my side for too long. Goodbye, Goliath. Wait a minute, I thought they were supposed to be love interests. Remind you, I haven't seen the show in ages, so my memory's a bit rusty. Just then a mysterious voice shouted out from nowhere, Hear me, Demona! Suddenly a bright light was seen coming up from the sky of the building onto the roof. The gargoyles squinted their eyes at the brightness. Soon they could make out a figure coming towards them. It was a man riding a motorcycle, but it was no ordinary man. This man's head was a human skull that was on fire, with empty black eyes its sockets. With empty black eyes its sockets? Shouldn't say with empty black eyes as its sockets, and why is there an apostrophe S for its? Because if you read it properly, it would say with empty black eyes as it is sockets. Get rid of the apostrophe S and add as. Let's continue. He wore a black leather jacket with spikes on each shoulder pad, gloves, and a chain across his chest. The motorcycle itself seemed as terrifying as its rider. It was black with yellow headlights that looked like demonic eyes. and even the wheels were on fire, leaving a trail of flames behind them. Talk about dramatic. "Who the heck is that?" Brooklyn asked the others. "Don't ask me," answered Lexington. "Never seen him before in my life." "Yeah, I think someone like that would stand out from the crowd." "He looks like a demon," Broadway shouted in fear. "They call me Ghost Rider," said the figure as he rode closer. "I am summoned when innocent blood is shed." He then pointed a gloved finger at Demona. "And you have shed much of this blood." The trio could only stare in disbelief. They had never seen anybody like this before. Demona took a step back, but was unafraid. The stranger known as Ghost Rider then stopped his motorcycle, stepped off of it, and slowly approached Demona as the four gargoyles watched in astonishment. Who in their right minds would approach Demona?